Hey,
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 hey, Gus, what's up?
how you doing?
Very good, very good. FIREWIND, hey, man. Congratulations on the new album, Steel Burner.
Thank you, man.
That'll be coming out April 24th, Metal Department Records. Um, your last release, Quantum Leap. How much different is that album compared to this new one?
Well, Quantum Leap was a full instrumental album,
Okay,
and it was my first all instrumental album. I had done the Quantum Leap is my fourth record, so I did the album. The previous albums were mainly with vocals, mainly collaborations. Now this one was the first time that I decided to do a 50-50 album. So it's like half instrumental and half with guest singers on it. So I think that is the major difference between this and the previous record. Yeah.
well, Gus G, welcome to RockEyez. And, it's been a while. So I listened to the album this morning. Like you said, half instrumental, half musical. And my favorite track is My Premonition. I really
Cool.
like that song. Can you tell me anything about that track? Because that's my favorite track on the album.
Thank you very much. This is something that I wrote sometime last year. I had this idea. I was working on it with Dennis Ward, the guy who mixes my records and co-produces with me. And it had that Dio Sabbath, Tony Martin era vibe to it.
Right.
Um, and I thought it was a really cool track. Like it has this kind of beat. I don't know if you remember a record Headless Cross, that
Yeah,
song. It has that kind of vibe. And I said, well, this is a great song for Ronnie Romero. And we had some shows lined up with Ronnie. We had a tour, and I went to Ronnie and I said, bro, I think I have the perfect song for you. I said, here it is. Can you write some lyrics to it? Let's make something that we have you and me together to promote when we go out on tour later this year. And yeah, Ronnie loved it, and that was my premonition. That's how it came together.
yeah. I really like that track a lot, and
Thank you.
and even the single "Nothing Can Break Me" with Dora, that's another killer track, and the video, so people
Thank
get
you.
the best of both worlds. You get your video and your music together, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'm glad I got to do something with Doro. I've known her for a while, and we always talked about doing something together. And I always, I knew she's very busy woman, always on tour, always making music and stuff. But last year we were having a discussion here with my team, and they were like, "How about Doro?" I said, "Oh, this is perfect opportunity to reach out to her finally."
right?
And it's one of those things like somebody drops the idea, and then the light bulb goes on, and I'm like, I think I even have the right track for her because I had this riff in my computer for a few years. It was kind of like half finished, and like somebody drops a name, and then you're like, oh, I think I have the right song for that person. So I was like, okay, I got nothing to lose. I just send out an email to her management, and I said, please show this to Dora, see what she thinks. And they got back to me, and they're like, she loves it. She wants to write this with you. She wants to do it. Yeah,
That must be a great feeling, huh?
it was. Yeah, it is. It is. And she's an icon, man. She's a metal queen. So it was a dream come true for me to write a song with Dora.
I photographed her back in the 80s because I was a staff photographer for a metal magazine for Metal Forces out of the UK. So at least I got to photograph her like in the, prime or whatever you want to call it in the day, So very cool, very cool. So
Very cool.
when you started playing guitar in the very beginning, when you started, giving the licks and stuff like that, who did you make believe you were? what musician, what musician when you first started playing, say, I'm gonna play like Eddie Van Halen or I want to play like Ingve, I'm gonna play like whoever.
Originally, when I had like two of these revelations in my teens. One of it was when I heard Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't believe how heavy the guitar sounded, and I immediately like picked up the guitar, started trying to learn all those riffs.
Right.
And the good thing is that because it was power chords mainly, it was easy to play them and easy to learn them, and so effective. And then the next big revelation was when I heard Yngwie Malmsteen.
Right.
It was like, oh, what is this? And I want to learn how to do this.
Right.
Um, so I think originally those were like my two go-to guys that I wanted to kind of like play, make riffs like Iommi, and then play
Right.
leads like Yngwie, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, yeah.
Do you remember the very first guitar you ever had?
Yes, I have it right there on the wall.
Uh,
Give me a sec. I'll bring it. Hold on a sec.
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's right here. Um, Here it is. It's a
Wow.
it's a Fender Stratocaster, a USA model,
Uh-huh.
and it's called Classic Floyd Rose because it came with a Floyd lock-in tremolo. It's like a mid-90s model.
Right.
It was like a super strat, that's what they call them. And my dad saved up for a year to buy me this guitar.
Wow.
And this guitar, I recorded the first Firewind albums with.
Uh-huh.
It's a really good guitar. It's not a shitty guitar, I'll tell you. You know, it's not a custom shop. It's a USA made. It's like a $2,000 guitar, like a mid range
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
price. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, the first Dream Evil records. I did all my first few albums with his guitar. Sounds great, plays great. So yeah, there it is. I still have it. I switched the pickups as I when I grew older. Like I had like this originally had like a humbucker and two single coils. Whatever. I'm getting into gear talk, but I still
Okay.
have it. It's in a great condition, sunburst color.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
I got this in 1994.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
Your dad must be really proud of you, huh?
yes, he is, and he was a big help
Uh,
in my early beginnings. You know, he always supported me as much as he could.
right.
You
Well,
know, I come from a working class family, and you know, so my dad always tried to support me any way he could. You know,
uh,
saved up money to send me to America when I finished high school
uh-huh.
to study at Berkeley, and so yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was very important to have that support from the family. You know, both my
Uh,
mom and dad.
uh-huh.
It made everything. It made the journey and the adventure so much easier to know that you have a good backup at home.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So how are you in school? Were you a good school kid?
No, I sucked. Yeah, because my whole teen years I spent locked in a room playing guitar. You know,
Uh-huh.
so that's all I was thinking of the minute I woke up. How do you know? I got to practice more. I got to practice. So no time for you know to study and to do my homework. I was pretty shit. I mean, I was just over the what do you call it? Just average, I would
Right.
say. I
Uh-huh.
wasn't failing in class, but I wasn't really excelling either.
Uh-huh.
Not because I was a dummy, because I just didn't want it. You know, I just
Yeah.
wanted to do good enough so I can pass the classes to just get my get my graduation and then just leave from Greece and go to America and see what 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 I could achieve in the music industry.
Right. I can understand your feelings because, like in school, right? Since I'm a concert photographer and stuff like that, in school I took photography, and I got an F. I flunked.
Really?
Yeah, because they wanted me to do stuff they wanted me to do. I want to do stuff that I want to do. I want
Yeah.
concert pictures. I don't want to take a picture of a flower, right?
Yeah.
Right? I want to do concert pictures. Like I was in the dark room, like printing out concert pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
F and flunked, you know,
Yeah.
my class, you know.
It's that, and also I think that kind of age when you're like so young, right after teenage years, around 17, 18, it's just a difficult age. Yeah, you don't want to listen to anybody.
Uh,
That's like the rebellious age. You're like, okay, I can do it on my own. I want to do what I want to do. Like you guys don't understand. It's maybe too much testosterone.
definitely, definitely. Was Firewind your first band?
Well, I played around in some local bands here in Greece, in Thessaloniki, where I'm from, like some cover bands.
Uh-huh.
You know, I played some cover gigs, but Firewind was like my own sort of, so to speak, invention. Like the band that I invented that had no members. It was just friends helping me out.
Right. Yeah. Well,
So
that's always
it
good.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't like a band, you know, it was just me kind of like getting help from friends to do demos and eventually signing a deal with a small label in America, Leviathan Records. Do you remember David Chastain from the 80s?
Yes, I do. Yes,
So
I do.
David Chastain was the guy who gave me my first deal.
Wow. Yeah,
So
I do. I do
yeah.
remember. So how many guitars do you have? I see a lot behind you.
Oh, I don't know. Not as many as other people. It must be around 50, 60, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Definitely less than 100.
And endorsements. Tell me a little bit about endorsements.
Endorsements. Well, at the last 10 years, I've been working with Jackson Guitars.
Uh-huh.
And you know, they make my signature models. These weird shapes that you see in the back there, those
Uh-huh.
are my signature guitars. I've always played them since I was a kid, basically.
Uh-huh.
And you know, it's a dream come true. You know, I get to design guitars with one of the premier brands.
Uh-huh.
And Jackson is owned by Fender Corporation, which is the biggest company. Fender under, you know, Fender owns other certain brands, like they own Charvel and Jackson and EVH. They own. So so it's great to be part of that big corporation, so to speak. And they have a great team. They make great guitars, great instruments, and yeah, it's just great to be part of that.
When you got the call for Ozzy to join his band, what was that feeling like?
That was wild, man. I never thought they would ask somebody like me to audition. You know, I got an email out of the blue, and a few weeks later they flew me out to LA to do an audition, and yeah, I was offered the gig right there on the spot. You know, there was I never really believed that I could be the guy, but something happened when I was in that room and we started playing.
Uh-huh.
Something happened. You know, that kind of chemistry between us was there, and I could see he really got into it right away. And I started also feeling very confident all of a sudden with myself, like, oh, I think I can do this. I think I sound good in this situation.
Right.
Up until that point, I didn't really feel like I was right for it. No.
Uh-huh.
Um,
You should always think positive, always positive,
I
right?
know, I know.
Always positive.
I had that. Unfortunately I had that a little bit when I was younger. I had that. I don't know if it's like a what do you call it? Is it called imposter syndrome or something? That
Uh-huh.
you're just
Right.
not good enough,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
why am I here? Like I shouldn't be here. I had that, but then as years went by, I started, you know, feeling a lot more confident and like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I do. I am myself, and yeah, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work for somebody else, what are you gonna do? So.
Once you joined Ozzy, do you feel your name and really stood out all of a sudden? Like Firewood was big, pretty big too. But once you joined Ozzy, everybody goes, "Oh, that's Gus G. That's Gus G." You know?
Um, well, Firewind was kind of like one of the up and coming bands in Europe.
Right.
Not really in America, but in Europe and Japan, we already had a career. We were one of the bands on the rise. But of course, you know, the Aussie gig, you get like such a different spotlight all of a sudden.
Right.
It's one of those things where you hear somebody like overnight, like, who is this guy? Why is this guy like on like everywhere right now?
Right.
But
Yeah.
there's all this you know, work that has been done already like for a decade before anybody knew.
Right.
Um, but yeah, of course, it gave me such a big spotlight and such a big platform. You know, a lot more people heard about me. It was a great opportunity, you know.
And how is Ozzy as a person?
He was great. He was such a funny guy, you know.
You can
Really
feel it.
funny. Yeah, yeah. Just the way you see him on the videos that you've seen him, and he's just hilarious, you know,
Uh, uh,
with his British dark humor and always making people around him laugh and just just a sweet guy, man.
how is it giving out autographs now and before in Firewind and in Ozzy when we have all this notoriety and people waiting just to see you or get a picture with you? What kind of feelings that does to your body?
Well, I always love meeting fans, you know. I love meeting fans, and I never say no when somebody comes up to me and want a photo or something. And I love to hear the stories that they tell me.
Right,
To me, that's the most important thing because I've heard some really moving stories from people, and that's such a you can't believe what a motivation that is for me personally.
right,
You
right,
know, when somebody come up and tell me like, hey, you know, this song of yours helped me pull through this really dark moment or whatever, or
right.
whether it was like a breakup or whatever, like a low point in life, or like getting through a sickness or losing somebody, like you hear these stories
Uh-huh.
from people, and and hearing that from different people from different cultures, different parts of the world, it's like the power of music, man.
Right. Uh-huh.
So this is so moving for me and so motivating. Yeah.
Can you tell me anything about merchandise you have available?
Merchandise. Well, we always have available merchandise, you know,
Right, yeah.
up on it's up on my web shop, you know, like gusgofficial.com.
Uh-huh.
People can see whatever. Usually I would put like leftovers from tours up there, but now a lot of fans know that they go there and they get special items from me, and I make sure to do like limited edition stuff, limited runs for the fans. And for example, you know, we have like a limited vinyl of a steel burner, like a pink vinyl that
Cool.
only I have on my web shop. So I hand sign everything and I ship it out. I still love doing that. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Was it limited?
I think this pink vinyl, yes, it's limited to 200, 300 pieces or something. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Wow. That's cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta check that out, man.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. When you go on the road with Ozzy, was there a particular tour rider that you had that you wanted stuff backstage, like food and whatever? Any particular foods or anything?
Um, Not that I can remember, but I think everybody was joking around with me. They always said, "Hey Gus, we have Greek hummus backstage for you." And I kept telling them, "Guys, hummus is not Greek. It's Arabic or something." I said it's not Greek. And I think in America they used to sell it. There's some company that make they sell hummus on supermarkets. It's called
Right,
Greek hummus.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and back then I would get really irritated. So they say it's not Greek, you know. we we don't really eat hummus, and they would just take the piss at me, like, "Oh, we got your Greek hummus."
Oh man, man. Did you ever try that?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah, I never tried that before.
yeah. It's okay. It's peas, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Chickpeas or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So what else you have coming up in the future right now?
Well, you know, obviously the album comes out April 24th,
Right.
and then I go into uh, festival shows all over Europe in the summer, both with Firewind and solo, together with Ronnie Romero. So
Cool.
it's a mix. I think we're probably about 15 festival shows over the summer. And then we have a tour in the fall with Ronnie in Europe and Scandinavia. And we go to Japan, from what I heard. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So we have a lot of shows. October, November, it's going to be jam packed. Yeah.
So when you go to your guitar company and stuff like that, and you want a new guitar, do you give them the specs what you want, or how's that work?
Um, Well, you know, I have my signature model, so
Right,
we already have the specs
right,
set out, and you know, whenever I need a guitar, they just know how it's made. There's certain specific specs that I've signed off to, and they will just send me a guitar. Yeah.
right. Uh,
Yep.
that's really cool. Yeah, you had a great career so far. You know,
I'm sorry, what?
you had a great career so far. I mean, all
I
right.
can't complain, man. You know, being from one of the smallest countries here,
Uh-huh.
it's not been bad. So I'm grateful for everything. You know, it's been a long ride. You know,
Well, yeah, definitely, definitely. So what's your feeling about the world as it is right now with all these problems?
crazy,
Yeah,
crazy. It's I mean, it's concerning about all these things that are happening with the oil right now and the oil prices and stuff.
mhm,
So just gotta um, stay calm and see where this goes. You know,
yeah,
um, I try not to watch too much TV because it's just so much negativity.
yeah,
Uh, but of course, you cannot avoid it. You know, I turn on the news just to see what's going on. You're like, oh shit, there's still a war going on.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but but let's see where it goes. It's been a crazy year so far. It seems that the years are not getting any easier as
No,
we're getting
not at
older.
all. Not at
Yeah.
all. And even like watching the TV, the news, you don't know if they're telling you the truth or not telling you the truth.
That's another thing right now that's concerning a lot of people. Like
Right?
we don't know what is fake news, what is real news. So that's why, like I said, that's why I'm not so much concerned. I'm concerned, of course. It's not like I
Right.
close my eyes to what's happening in the world, but uh, at the end of the day, I have to take care of my family and my day-to-day things, and I have, important things to do. Um, so we just monitor the situation and we try to adapt with where we go, just like anybody, man. Just trying to get through this.
Yeah, yeah. How do you like making the videos? Because I was watching some of the still videos that you had up on your site with the flames behind you and smoke and all that. They look great, man. They look great. You
Yeah,
know?
you look the videos, they look really cool, but filming the videos is not as cool. You're just it's probably one of the most boring parts of the music
Uh,
industry. You just stand there like in some cold location,
uh,
sitting there for 8 hours, you know,
uh,
in some corner, and then
uh,
they call you to do your takes, and you do like 10 takes of a song you wrote like a few years ago. And you do the same thing over and over again, and like, okay, we got it, and then off you go. And but then in the end, you see the magic and the
yeah,
final editing and stuff, and then you're like, oh, okay, this was worth it. It's
yeah, yeah.
we've created something cool. Yeah.
So you're going to be working on a new Firewind album too,
I'm already doing it.
uh,
We're in the mixing stages as we speak.
right?
So it's scheduled to come out next year,
Okay,
and it's a concept album, and it's gonna be pretty epic.
cool. Can't wait, can't wait. You know?
Yeah.
Well, Gus, it was great talking to you. I really appreciate it, and
You too.
congratulations on your career. You know,
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
making people happy. You know,
Thank you very much. We try, man.
yeah.
It's like music gets us through everything.
Would you like to say anything to your fans out there?
Well, I love everybody and hope to see you all on tour. Keep checking back for dates, for updates, wherever we're gonna be. And I want to thank you for the interview, for the chat, for everything. So and I hope everybody checks out Steel Burner. Comes out April 24th.
Thanks a lot, Gus.
Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Bye.